Introducing Ginger. Former occupation, farmer. Current occupation, CEO of the Tomato Corporation. Age, 27. Height, 5 feet 8 inches, 173 centimeters. She has a cheerful and steady character.
The distribution network development project is going well. Sylvia, arrange a board of directors meeting for Monday.
Very good, Miss Ginger.
Who could that be?
Hello there, granddaughter. We haven't seen you for a while, and Grandma and I really miss you.
Grandpa, I miss you too. I'll be there tomorrow. See you then.
Great! No one should work that much. I'll tell Grandma to bake some cookies.
The next morning...
It's been so long since I've been here, I don't even recognize the countryside.
Indeed, the last several years were good to the countryside, and the quality of life had improved quite a bit. The Browns had finished the noisy construction of their new storehouses and bee gardens. A good-sized satellite dish protruded from Chuck's room. He drives the bulldozer. There was only one house that showed any signs of neglect.
Interesting. I wonder what kind of lazybones lives there.
By the time Ginger got to her grandparents' house, tea and cookies were already on the table.
Well, Ginger, how are you? How's business?
Life is wonderful. Grandpa, who owns that deserted house in the neighborhood?
Oh, well, it isn't deserted. The owner just doesn't know anything about working with his hands.
Oh, shut up, you old bird. By the way, Ginger, he's a very nice young man from the city. Perhaps you should help him. Otherwise, he'll probably lose this year's crops.
Why not? It's been a long time since I've held a shovel. I'll go over there just as soon as I finish my cup of tea. Hi there, I'm your neighbor, Ginger.
I'm Robert. It's nice to meet you. I'd invite you to sit down, but there isn't anywhere to sit.
Robert, why is your farm in such a state of neglect?
I just don't know how to work the land. I'm a businessman, not a farmer.
Robert Higgins, successful businessman.
Things haven't been going well for me lately.
Robert Higgins, unemployed.
This miserable house is all I have left, and I have no idea what to do with it.
Don't hang your head, Robert. In the countryside, we don't abandon each other during hard times. Let's work together and get your farm in order.
Thank you, Ginger, but I really don't know what I'm doing.
You'll learn. Now grab your shovel and let's get to work. First, let's learn how to till the soil. To do this, double-click on an empty section of the field. That's it. Now let's till 3 more patches.
Okay.
Wonderful! Now let's plant tomato seeds in our patches of land. To do this, pick up the sack of seeds by clicking on it, and then click on each of the patches of land. Now you need to dig up the burdock near the shed to free up the patches of land. To do this, put your bag of seeds onto the field by double-clicking on an empty section of the field. Now click on each weed to dig it up and till the soil. And now click on the 8 patches of burdock to dig up the weeds. Your tomatoes will be ready soon. Pick up a crate, then click on a tomato plant with ripe vegetables. Remember, a crate can hold the pickings from 4 plants. The crate is full. Now let's take it to the barn. We used our only crate, so we'll need to buy more. Click on the Supplies tab in the menu at the bottom of the screen, then click on the picture of a crate and drag it to an empty section of the field. The farm is in business. Now you need to sell a crate of tomatoes. Now that everything is running smoothly, Robert, I'm sure you won't have any problems selling them in the future.
Wonderful! I finally get to go to town.
Now, Robert, we've come to the end of our adventure. Your farm is in good working order, and the buyers are already placing numerous orders.
Ginger, I don't know how to thank you. I'll tell you all about my past, like I promised.
Wow, it's a completely different place now. The garden's even nice to look at. I hardly even recognize it.
Yes, it's wonderful. Now I'll be able to sell this dump and start something new.
If you don't mind telling me, what happened with your last line of work?
I had a small canning factory. Things were going pretty well until I was made an offer that I couldn't refuse. These people, I don't know who they were. They rented one of my labs. They said they wanted to research environmentally friendly toilet paper. They offered me good money. I agreed without thinking it over. After a month, I went to take a look at the lab to see what they were up to. They wouldn't even let me in the door. And furthermore, there wasn't any toilet paper in that laboratory, just plants and pots, and all sorts of strange equipment. I started to suspect something wasn't right, but I didn't have enough proof to go to the police. That night, I hacked into their computer network. And I can assure you that they weren't working on toilet paper. In reality, they were modifying plant DNA. Unfortunately, I couldn't find out why. Their security detected that I hacked into their computer system. A few minutes later, a pair of security guys burst into my office. They threatened me, Ginger. You understand? They threatened to hit me with an eggplant. If I didn't sign over the factory to them, I probably wouldn't be among the living today. That's how I lost my business.
Secret experiments on vegetables? I need to look into this. Sylvia, please get the plane ready. Something urgent has come up. Trees won't let us go bankrupt under any circumstances. They don't demand care and they yield fruit on a regular basis. To pick fruit from a tree, just pick up an empty crate and then click on a tree with ripe fruit. The crate will fill completely and you can take it to the barn.
Miss Ginger, I recommend you start by buying carrot seeds. They grow well in this area and they are not too expensive.
I agree, Sylvia. We'll start with carrots. One bag will be enough for 12 patches of land, so it makes sense to plant all the seeds immediately. If you don't have enough free patches, you'll need to till more.
Miss Ginger, I think we should sell your first set of products. Evidently, the Association of Small Farms Assistants has noticed us. We have orders for 3 crates of carrots.
Not a problem, Sylvia.
Miss Ginger, crates are now available in packages of 5 in the store. I recommend them. They're very convenient. The item is available in the supplies section of the store.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Miss Ginger, we really need to start raising animals. We can't live by just planting carrots. By the way, there's an old abandoned sheep shack on the farmland.
You'll need money to repair the sheep shack. When you have enough money to repair it, point your cursor at the building and click the arrow button. Your sheep shack will be repaired and back in action. Feeding sheep is also a science. Sheep love carrots and cabbages. We have carrots. To feed the sheep, you'll need to fill up a crate with carrots and take it to the sheep shack. When the sheep are ready to eat, you'll see a plate flashing above the sheep shack. If a big heart appears over a plant, we need to quickly fertilize it. Fertilizer is available in the supplies section of the store. Buy a bag of fertilizer, pick it up, and click on each plant that needs to be fertilized. If a drop of water appears over a plant, it means it's time to water it. If we don't, it could dry out and die. To water the plants, pick up the watering can and fill it by clicking on the water pump. Then click on each plant that needs water.
Miss Ginger, congratulations! The association loves us. Now we only have to sell a crate of wool and we can be sure they will invite you to their exclusive conference.
Yes, it looks like everything has gone very well. When the sheep have been fed and are full, they produce wool. The wool will appear next to the sheep shack in the form of a white pile. Pick up an empty crate and click on the sheep shack. Then take the crate of wool to the barn.
Good afternoon, Ginger Agronovich.
Yes, that's me.
I've been commissioned to invite you to an exclusive conference organized by the Association of Small Farms Assistants. Please RSVP.
Thank you. I'll definitely be there.
Hello, Miss Ginger. I represent the Miracle Cucumber Company.
Well, finally.
We understand that you're an extremely promising farmer, and we want to invite you to attend an exclusive conference that outlines our company's latest developments.
How unexpected. Thank you for the offer. I'm quite interested in learning about your latest developments.
I'm sure you'll like it. Here is your admission ticket. The time and location of the exhibition are on the back.
At the exhibition.
Here you can see our experimental fruit and vegetable cultures. Many years of artificial selection and a patented fertilizer have allowed us to achieve truly fantastic results.
These strawberries are huge. Artificial selection and fertilization will never give those kind of results. They couldn't manage this without altering the germplasm and the plant's DNA.
Now, let's proceed to the greenhouse exit, and you'll see what our seeds are capable of under the open skies.
Wow! Currants the size of tomatoes, tomatoes the size of watermelons, and eggplants the size of… No wonder these eggplants scared Higgins.
Our excursion is drawing to a close. Don't forget, if you want these types of vegetables to grow on your farm, you only need to sign an exclusive contract to purchase our seeds.
At the airport.
Obviously, these miracle cucumber people are up to no good. We need to get some samples of their giant vegetables to analyze.
But, Miss Ginger, how? The conference's security is tighter than a prison's.
I have a plan. It's complicated, and I'll need your help, Sylvia.
That night.
Miss Ginger!
Shh!
Miss Ginger, we're in the right place. We need to start collecting samples. Let's start with a…
Sylvia, don't make so much noise. Turn off the motor. We don't want to attract attention. Okay, off I go.
Great. Now we need to find some orchid bulbs. They aren't far either, just south of the old building near the plant beds.
Sylvia, there are guards everywhere. Apparently, they don't want us to learn about their secrets.
And that's why I said you need to be more careful. Now we need some grapes. There are near the Jeep. The grapevines are somewhere to the north, just past an old well. And please be careful. There's a guard in that area.
They almost caught what's next on the list. Oh, right, gigantic cucumbers. I saw some next to the wall. Don't forget to take a crate.
The last item on the list is pineapples. What? They're growing pineapples too?
Yes, pineapples. Where are they?
In the northwest section of the land, near a lantern. Don't forget to take a crate.
We need to distract them. Let's turn the lights out on them. I noticed a power switch to the west, near the ravine, next to the electrical station. It'll be harder for them to find us in the dark. Okay, I've got everything. Sylvia, start the engine. I'm headed for the Jeep.
Well done. Oh no! Miss Ginger, they're chasing us!
Come on, Sylvia! Get us out of here! Sylvia, take a look at this cucumber.
Miss Ginger, I'm a little busy right now.
It's enormous!
I'll try to lose the guy on our tail by taking a side street.
And the bumps, they're huge.
Hang on, Miss Ginger. This is going to be a sharp turn.
This cucumber would last a family an entire week.
Finally, Ginger and Sylvia ditched the car that was following them and returned to headquarters. Nice to meet you, Miss Ginger. Professor Ravon, geneticist, age 32.
Good afternoon, Professor. Thank you for agreeing to meet me.
How can I help you?
I have a few samples of some strange vegetables. Could you help me by performing a DNA analysis on them?
I would be happy to help, but I have a lot of work right now. There is a terrible famine in my country, and I am urgently trying to create a synthetic fertilizer that will help them cope with bad harvests.
Professor, if you agree to help us, I promise to personally fly to your country and help take care of the agricultural problems there.
That would be delightful! They need help from an experienced farmer, even more than fertilizer. I will help you. In Professor Ravon's home city,
I am Jamut, the elder. Professor Ravon said that you will help us overcome a famine. Help is good. We love help. Leave your iron staff here and grab a club. Then you can go to the field to beat the weeds with the other farmers.
Weeding with clubs? Wow, that sounds like the Stone Age. Step aside, Patriarch. Now I'm going to teach you modern gardening methods.
Hello, Ginger. I have good news for you. I have prepared a few containers of high-yielding seeds and my own special fertilizer. Your assistant already took it to the airport, so the package should arrive soon.
Great! With this kind of help, I'll build paradise on Earth here. The best way to gather startup capital is to pick and sell fruit. Bananas earn a pretty good price. We'll sell 2 crates.
Miss Ginger, the locals have offered their crane in case we need to do anything big.
Fantastic! Coincidentally, we need to move the barn closer to the fruit trees. Click on the icon of the crane in the supplies section of the store, then click on the barn. This spot grace under the trees, just a short walk. Now we need to plant 12 beds of dahlias. You can buy the bulbs in the seeds section of the store. Sylvia, how should we deal with fallen trees in the bog? They're in the way.
In theory, we could use a... In the supplies end of the store, click on the bulldozer icon. A circle will appear. Then point this circle on the fallen tree and bog next to the greenhouse. As soon as the circle lights up, click on it again, and the land will be cleared.
You don't have enough money to buy a bulldozer. You'll need to earn more. It makes sense to look around your land. Maybe there are more fruit trees here. Of course, it's also worthwhile to plant more crops. They are your main source of income. You can use the bulldozer anytime. That is, of course, if you have enough money. For now, the space we just cleared is enough. Now let's plant 12 beds of roses. The bulbs have just become available in the store. Little by little, there's more to do on the farm. We need to hire more workers. At the labor office, in the workers section, 2 workers have just appeared, a crop waterer and a fruit and vegetable picker. Let's hire them both. If a glowing coin appears above their heads, it means you need to pay them by clicking on them. Now it's time to try something more serious, beekeeping. We'll buy only 1 beehive to start. The beehive is now available in the building section of the store. If you don't have enough money to buy it right away, you'll need to earn more. The beehive is ready. Remember that bees need flowers. The more flowers you plant and the closer they are to the beehive, the more effectively they'll gather honey. Now the only thing we don't have is a refrigerated warehouse. We'll need to buy one. There's one available in the building section of the store. As soon as the honey is ready, you'll need to immediately take it to the refrigerated warehouse. One crateful is plenty for now. From now on, the locals can figure it out themselves. Sylvia, everything is ready. We're in business. How's the professor?
He's happy, of course. He already gave me a list of what he needs. I have to say, it's quite a list.
Sylvia, do whatever he asks. We really need him. I'm flying home.
At the Board of Directors meeting.
Our corporation's revenue increased by 20% during the third quarter. We've opened 7 new branches worldwide. Besides that, by using the new fertilizer created by the esteemed Professor Ravan, we've been able to significantly increase the crop yield. In the next quarter, we plan to double these results thanks to distribution network modernization. The development plan is included in your copy of today's agenda. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Mr. Schultz.
Is it okay if I pet the cat? It's so cute.
After the meeting...
Miss Ginger, there's news regarding your father. Our agents have informed us that he opened a factory to manufacture cheap sausage. He flooded stores with his poor quality meat and drove almost every meat processing plant in the area to the point of bankruptcy.
Looks like Dad is up to his old tricks again.
Alexander Agronovich, Ginger's father. He disappeared following the events of the original Farmcraft game. Age 65. Very evil and very mean.
I'll have to talk with him about this. Agronovich, here you are. What's the matter with you? Stop ruining farmers' lives or I'll have to teach you another lesson.
Teach me a lesson? Just who do you think you are, raising your voice like that?
Hey, you're not Alexander Agronovich.
Agronovich? Ha! My last name is Bulko. Now, tell me, what do you want from me?
Mr. Bulko, you are selling inedible sausages at ridiculously low prices. By doing this, you're not only destroying your competition, but you're also depriving customers of delicious meat. It seems to me that you should...
And it seems to me that you should stop trying to teach me how to run my business. How rude! I will run my factory any way I deem necessary. Now, get out of my office.
Okay, Mr. Bulko, but I promise that you haven't seen the last of me. Oh no, this place is in complete desolation. It's not going to be easy for us to compete with Bulko's factory.
I think if we raise animals here, we'll have a chance.
Definitely. We'll need to grow feed for the animals. We're off to a good start, but I won't be able to manage all of this myself. To start, we'll hire a crop waterer and a fruit and vegetable picker. Now we can start to raise animals. But buying a new shed is too expensive. It's better to repair the old one. The repair is finished. Now you need to build a refrigerated warehouse to store the finished products.
Refrigerated warehouses have appeared in the store, just in time.
The refrigerated warehouse has been built. Now it's a good idea to build a pig pen. Pigs sell really well.
Just a moment, I'll have a look. We need a livestock breeder and a crop fertilizer.
Miss Ginger, I have developed a technology to upgrade buildings with animals in them. It will allow us to increase our efficiency by more than 30%.
That's exactly what we need. To start, let's upgrade the cow barn, and then later we'll be able to upgrade the rest of the buildings.
Our farm is now operating independently. Production is in order and the demand for our products is huge.
Wonderful! It's time to fill the market with our products and bring down Bulko's factory.
Ginger, I've just been told that Bulko's factory couldn't compete with us. He's closed his factory.
Hooray! That's how it's done. Efficiently making high-quality, profitable goods. Now we need to think about what to do with Bulko's workers. We can't just let them be out of work because of us.
Ginger addresses the workers of Bulko's factory who have declared bankruptcy.
Give us back our jobs! Down with Ginger! Down with Ginger!
Everyone, calm down. There's no reason to panic. The Tomato Corporation has bought your factory. We'll purchase new equipment, and in another month, you'll all have your jobs back. And we'll also build a volleyball court for the factory employees.
Hooray! Hooray, Ginger! Hooray!
Staring at the ceiling, Ginger thought about the events of the last month. First, these strange genetically modified vegetables appeared. Then, Agronovich's trail grew hot, then cold again. Something strange was obviously going on around here. Suddenly,
Miss Ginger, we have problems.
The fruit crops were completely lost due to a severe frost. The Tomato Corporation's confectionery factories don't have any raw materials. The company is suffering huge losses.
Frost in the subtropics? Global warming already? Professor Ravon, something unpleasant has come up.
The frost? Yes, I heard the news. It just so happens that I have experimental frost-resistant fruit saplings for this very situation.
Professor, you are a genius. If we plant enough of these frost-resistant fruit saplings, we'll be able to avoid closing the confectionery factories. I'll fly out tomorrow.
The weather in the frozen region turned out to be even worse than Ginger expected.
Good afternoon, Miss Ginger. I am Mr. Jones, the manager. I will be your escort.
Hello, Jones. Let's hurry and drive to where we're going.
Drive? Driving won't be possible. The roads were washed out long ago.
Well, then let's run. Uh-oh. What's happened here?
There has been a drastic shift in the weather. The pattern of precipitation shifted to the east and consequently has resulted in the formation of a permanent anticyclone.
Thank you, Professor. I have a much better understanding of the situation. Now we need to start by salvaging the rest of the crops. We'll need to build a greenhouse for the flowers. The greenhouse is ready. Now we need to take all the orchids that are still alive into the greenhouse.
Miss Ginger, some difficulties have come up. Professor Ravan prepared the frost-resistant flower bulbs. However, local laws require us to pay a tax in order to bring experimental products into the country.
Oh, they are so greedy! Soon they'll be levying taxes on the letter O. Well, what can we do? We'll have to earn money for the taxes, then plant the seeds and see how they grow in this climate. The flowers are growing, but not well. It would be a good idea to hire a soil specialist.
Miss Ginger, I sent you the second pack of experimental seeds. I hope you will have enough.
Thank you, Professor. I don't think one worker is enough. We need to hire one more crop fertilizer and also another crop waterer and fruit and vegetable picker. Great! We've put the flour growing in order, but we'll need some sort of sweet ingredients in order to start up the confectionery factory. Watermelons and figs used to grow here, but now we'll have to limit it to something simpler. I think it's best to plant raspberries and plums.
Miss Ginger, I've prepared new frost-resistant strawberry seeds.
Oh, again, we'll have to pay taxes. Well, fine. We'll plant a field with strawberries, and maybe then we'll be able to reopen the confectionery factory. Hooray! Science has triumphed over Mother Nature. We're reopening the factory.
Back at headquarters,
Miss Ginger, Mr. Harding was looking for you.
Not now, Sylvia. I have a meeting with Mr. Shower, Mr. T, and Mr. Throw Blanket.
the meeting went well, and afterwards Ginger was relaxing on the chair in front of the television. When...
Financial news. The textile industry crisis continues in the northern regions of the country. Interruptions in the delivery of raw materials and the rising prices of transport have made clothing production unprofitable. If the current situation doesn't change, experts predict the industry will collapse in the immediate future.
What's going on with this world? Can't they do anything without me? Oh my, I'll have to fly up there and investigate.
The next morning...
Miss Ginger, I thought about the situation, and I think I have found a solution. The basic problem of the textile factories in the north is the difficulty in delivering raw materials to them. This means we need to grow the raw materials up there and not transport them from who knows where. Previously, this was not possible due to the severity of the climate. But science never stands still. If we use the underground soil heating technology and the frost-resistant seeds,
we'll be victorious. Thank you, Professor. Frank, start the helicopter.
By no means did the warmest welcome await Ginger upon her arrival in the north.
Brr, they should make ice cream in this place, not clothes.
Hey, you up there! Come down here! I cannot drive any further. Well, how do you like the weather? You know, it's great! After all, what's the most important thing in life? A fiery heart and a warm wool coat. Okay, get in! Let's ride like the wind!
And now we'll need to supply the factory with raw materials. First, we'll construct all the necessary buildings, and at the same time, we'll plant the field with frost-resistant seeds in order to feed the animals.
Good news, Miss Ginger. In the supplies section of the store, there's a new service called Plow the Field. If you don't have much time but have the money, you can order this service for 100 coins. But take care where you plow. You can't plow the soil just anywhere. We're ready. Now we'll hire some workers. We can't take care of this farm alone. Now we'll hire a manager to take care of the workers. Wonderful! Now I think we need to make improvements to all the buildings. The faster they can produce their goods, the better for us. Now we wait until our farming brings in income. Hooray! Now our farm can supply materials to both factories. Victory!
See you around. If you need anything, come visit and we'll help you.
Thank you for the offer. Don't miss me too much.
Upon returning home, Ginger called a meeting.
Gentlemen, today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the future. You all know that recently farming has reached an unprecedented level of success throughout the entire world. Thanks to the widespread use of new types of vegetables, innovative fertilizers, and effective farming methods, the volume of manufactured products has increased many times over. Our company has contributed to this success.
We did a good job.
And how? But don't forget, problems can arise from an abundance of food.
Are you saying that people will start to eat too much, grow fat, and they'll have to be moved around on wheels?
Not quite. When there's a surplus of goods, competition becomes difficult. Our warehouses are overflowing, so we'll be forced to lower our prices. Other large companies are in the same situation. Small farms will soon not be able to remain competitive with us and will start to die out. Gentlemen, we could ruin the lives of the very people whom I wanted to protect when I started this company.
Ginger, where is this pessimism coming from? It seems to me that you're worrying over a small matter. If farmers do not find it lucrative to grow vegetables, they'll start to grow fruit. Big deal.
I second that. And we could can a surplus of vegetables and send them to Africa. There's not a lot of food there.
If only everything was that simple.
Miss Ginger, Professor Ravan has new information for you. He says it's urgent.
I finished the DNA analysis of your super vegetable samples.
What does your analysis show? You know, I'm still having nightmares about that cucumber.
Yes, something is not quite right. A real genius worked on these plants. They have maximized the growth speed, their yield, their resistance to cold and drought and pests. But their fertility gene is unstable. For a while, they will yield harvests like mad. But then...
What?
From a scientific point of view, then there will be a so-called end. Crops will stop yielding their harvest. Even if you overload them with fertilizer, you won't even see one tomato in your vegetable beds.
But that's terrible. Right now, almost all the leading companies are purchasing the miracle cucumber seeds. How much time do we have until the DNA of these super vegetables loses its stability?
It is difficult to tell. 2 or 3 years, it may be more.
We need to do something about this immediately. Sylvia?
Miss Ginger, we have another problem.
Again. Now we need to build a confectionery factory here. But this is a long and difficult task. To start, we need to hire some workers to help.